Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, I'm making this video for those who are interested, like in the union, becoming an apprentice and all that. Right now I'm just coming out of work. So being an IBW or joining an apprenticeship program, it's kind of cool. They pay for my schooling, they provide for my work. It has great pay and benefits. We get a pension, we get 401k, we get full benefits, full health, dental, vision for me and my family. So it's not bad, man. Also, well, it's pretty good. It's pretty good to go in. It's worth it. I mean, granted, there are things that are kind of tiring. Like, I drive 2.5 hours to and from work. I work 10 hours, but I do work 4/7 Mondays to Thursdays. But after that, I still have to go to school twice a week. I still have homework and all that stuff. But I mean, for the pay and for the experience, it's pretty worth it. When you join the union, when you sign up for the apprenticeship program, they're gonna make you do an aptitude test to see how well you are in algebra and mathematics, which is basically algebra, pre-algebra or algebra, and English comprehension. Once you pass those, they will give you a date where you are going to meet the main guys. You're gonna have like a in-person interview with 5 members of the apprenticeship program and 5 members of the National Contractors Association. The NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association, the NECA or NECA, are the ones that are going to pay for your schooling. School is pretty basic. I mean, you got 2 classes. You have theory and then you have shop. In shop, you'll learn how to do connections, bend piping, all that good stuff, material handling, knots, all that. In theory, that's something else. In theory, you're going to be learning about the code book, the National Electrical Code. And also, you're going to be knowing how to calculate voltages, voltage drops, tangents, peak to peaks, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of algebra involved, a lot of math. The first two semesters are not that bad. Once you go into AC, is getting a little bit hard. That'll be like around third semester. 4th semester, I just went into 4th semester. 4th semester, we're going to start doing codology and blueprints. 1st semester, what we did, just introduction, what the IBW is, the history, and all that good stuff. 2nd semester is DC, which is pretty good and it's pretty basic. It gives you an understanding of how mathematics works in the electrical. And it gives you a good grasp of what you're going to see in AC theory. AC theory would be more in depth. For me, at least, that was 3rd semester. It goes way into depth about mathematics, measuring using your testers, using the oscilloscope and stuff like that. And in 2 days, I'm going to start my 4th, which is going to be blueprints and codology, which we're going to be going in depth on the National Electrical Code, which is basically like the code of how to legally wire safely, or the minimum requirements to wire a home, business, or anything in that nature. So that's basically it. What can I tell you about payments? The pay is pretty good. I mean, I work non-union, and I did get paid above average. I mean, above minimum, like around $15. But when I started working in the union as an apprentice, I think my first pay was $18.90 starting out. Then my second pay raise was 19 something, and now it's 21 something, and it goes up from there. So depending on what union you're in or what local you're in, they have different raise brackets. And usually they give you the raise based on a percentage of a journeyman's wage. So basically, if a journeyman wins $45 an hour, and you're like third or fourth year apprentice, and you get to 50% a journeyman salary, you're gonna be winning $22.50. Yeah, $22.50. So that's how it works. Did I say 45 or 55? Well, anyways, yeah. So yeah, and that's basically about it. There's different jobs. The jobs, let me see. At least for me, I work. My union hall is in a small town, and it's 2 hours away from the actual headquarters of my local. So work where I live is scarce. Work where I live is scarce, so I have to travel. But there's perks and benefits of traveling. Right now, I'm working off another local because there was no work in my local. So they have to keep you as an apprentice. You have to stay working. You have to keep working. So they transfer me. They didn't. I was borrowed to another local that is out like 2.5-3 hours away, and I'm getting their pay rate. And I'm working 2.5 hours away from my own home, from where I live, and right now I'm driving back. And the benefits is this: I'm winning the salary of that local, not my own local. So I'm winning a little bit more than what I normally win. Second is I get per diem. So apart from my salary, I get paid an extra $13 an hour for travel. So the company I'm working for right now gives me approximately, working 40, like around $500 extra, non-taxable, for travel expenses. That would be gasoline, food, and hotels. Sometimes I have to stay over. But yeah. So I mean, that's a bonus. It's tiring. It's tiring to drive 5 hours a day, work 10 hours, and then go to school for 4 hours, and go home, sleep, and then rinse and repeat for 4 days. It is tiring, but hey, I mean, it's worth it. And as an apprentice, it is kind of tiring, man. You got a lot of homework to do. You got a lot of studying to do, and all that stuff. As an apprentice, at least in my local, I don't know how it is in other locals, but in my local, when you become an apprentice, you have to sign a contract, and where you become a bond servant. So basically, you are working, you're studying, they pay for your studies, and you work. And after you become a journeyman, you have to work for the union for 5 to 10 years, and that'll pay back your schooling. And after that, you're free to work anywhere else. If you sign up as an apprentice, at least in my local, I don't know, other locals are kind of different, but at least in my local, if you signed up as an apprentice, basically you're signing that you're not going to work anywhere else but there until you pay off your servitude. So that's the downside. But the good side is, heck, it's like signing, hey, you want to work for us for 10 years? Heck yeah. So you know that you're gonna have work for the next 10 years. I mean, you know why? Because they want you working. Because if you don't work, they don't get paid. or they don't get paid because you pay your dues, right? Every month you have to pay, and then they deduct payment from your checks and all that stuff. So they'll keep you working. So imagine you're signing a contract to work with them for 10 years. 5 years as an apprentice and another 5 years as a journeyman. So, I mean, it got its pros and cons. And the pay is pretty good. The schooling is pretty good. At least in where I am, if I finish the apprenticeship program, I'll have a certificate from a college. I'm omitting names, right? I don't want to say where I'm from or stuff like that, but I'm gonna get a college certificate where I can continue my studies, go to that college, and extend it to a engineering degree. So, and that's what I'm planning to do. Once I finish my apprenticeship program, I'm going to continue my studies and become an engineer and increase my pay rate. But as an engineer, I don't think I'm going to be part of the union. Well, I don't know. That's in the future. I don't want to think about it right now. But yeah, is it worth joining the apprenticeship program? Yes. It's time consuming. It's tiring. You're going to make a lot of sacrifices. A lot of sacrifices. I don't hang out with friends no more. I mean, you got to do a lot of sacrifices. But come on. When you have your state certification, I mean, you're gonna be winning $45-50 an hour, and that's in certain places. There's other places like in San Francisco and some parts of Nevada and stuff like that where the pay rate is higher. My journeyman, heck, he's told me that he worked in the Bay Area for like six months. He took home approximately $175,000. Apparently, he was working every day overtime. His hourly wage was like around, I think, $75. And that's not counting overtime. Overtime over there is double time. It's not time and a half, it's double time. So what is double of 70? It's 140 an hour. So it's crazy, man. I mean, cash does pile up pretty quickly. So is it worth it? Yeah, you got to do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of traveling because I live in a small town. There's not a lot of development. So I got to go to the city, work. So I'm always driving. That's another thing. I invested in a good car, and I always put everything new in my car. I used to do all my oil changes and stuff like that myself, but now I just take it somewhere to do it. That way there's warranties and stuff like that in case, since I travel a lot, if something breaks down, I'll just take it back to the shop, and I have warranty on all my parts and all my car parts. I used to do my own stuff, but because of the travels, because of accidents or blown out tires and stuff like that, a warranty is way better than doing it yourself, because if you do it yourself, you're gonna have to buy the part again. If you get warranty from a shop, well, they replace a whole part. They don't charge you, and that's the thing. Well, anyway, and that's it. I wanted to do this a quick one. I did a buttload of videos on this topic, but they all were like 30 minutes, and I don't think you guys want to see 30 minutes. So I'm glad this came up as it did. Alright guys, I'll make another video explaining more about what I do at work. So stay tuned. If you have any questions or any concerns or whatever, just leave a comment below and I'll cover it in my next video. Alright, I'll try to post a video every Friday. Like I said, school, work, driving, a lot of homework, a lot of studying. It really takes a lot of time, so I'll try to make these videos as much as possible and as short as possible. That way you don't have to spend a lot of time. Alright guys, hope to hear from you guys, whoever that is. Later.